Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. So sorry for the little pause in posting. I have been moving my entire life to another country. So apologies about that, but also not really because I really couldn't help that one. But anyways, we are back. I feel a renewed sense of artistic flow, whatever that means. Basically, I'm inspired again. I guess it took moving across the world to do that, but I'm not going to question it. Anyway, so today we're doing a speed paint because I finally have something for you guys, because, like, Jesus Christ, maybe if I did this more, I would have this kind of video more often, but these take me so long. The one we're gonna see today took me 8 hours, so that was fun. It actually was, but I do wish that these things would take me a little less time, because 8 hours is a long time to spend on something that, could maybe do better. But again, I don't do art for just that, but it is sometimes a little bit disheartening when you spend so much time on something and you're super proud of it and it's not really received as well on the internet, but who cares? I'm doing this for fun. But I hope you guys like this video, because I really like this piece. I will explain more of the context of it when we look at it, but I'm really proud of this piece. I tried a few new styles of doing things, and I was really happy with it. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Alright, and this is the piece we're gonna look at today. As I said, I'm super happy with this. I'm super happy with the lighting, I'm super happy with the shading. I tried some new techniques on the clothing. I had never drawn boots like this before, so that was also great. The boots were a challenge though, because they're basically all black, so I had to kind of be creative when it came to highlight and shadows and just showing more form of the boot instead of it just being like a solid black blob. I also tried to get the materials of what he was wearing kind of more accurate, because I wanted his shirt to be shown that it was cotton or something similar, and then I wanted his pants to look like they were on the leathery, shinier side, and I think I did a pretty decent job considering this was my first attempt at this. I also wanted to make sure if you can't tell, it is a heart. I wanted to make sure the heart on the ground looked like it was gross and wet, and ooh, that sounded horrible. And just kind of freshly torn out of the body, I guess. But anyways, I also would like to say I did not have any references for this piece other than the chair and his hands. Everything else was kind of from my brain, which I was very happy with. Oh, and the boots. But I'd never really drawn boots before this, so not that using a reference is bad. I feel like I'm explaining myself using references, but that's what you do. Anyways, I'm really happy with this, and I used minimal references, which I'm really proud of. So yeah, basically the backstory of this piece, I'll tell you about this now, and then when we get into the speed paint, we'll talk about the technique. But anyways, backstory to this piece is basically I did a TikTok video to a song. I'm not sure if I can, replay the song here, but it was a song, and basically one of the lyrics is, "Run for your life, I'm gonna tear out your heart, and it'll always be mine." Wow, repeating that kind of sounds really horrific, but what can I say? The best music and the most inspirational music, for me personally, that's what it is. Anyways, also, I've drawn a weird amount of realistic human hearts, specifically with Dabi. So I have 3 pictures of him with a realistic human heart. I don't know why. It's just something about him, I guess. Just him and human hearts need to be together. Anyways, so that's what the lyric was, and that's what basically this panel was for. Originally, it was just line art, and there was other stories with it, or pictures with it. If you want to check out that video, it's on my TikTok. I'm pretty happy with the video actually as well. And I liked this panel specifically so much that I was like, I need to color this, because the line art is really not capturing what I am envisioning for the feel of this piece. So that's kind of why I decided to color it. It's not like a crazy, cool piece with like cool perspective. It's fairly simple. It's just kind of head-on, waist-height camera. But that's kind of why I wanted it to be so simple when it came to the camera, because then with everything else I could be more creative and kind of play around a little bit. So basically, the inspiration of this piece was kind of, if anyone has seen the Scream movies, I won't spoil anything, but if you've seen Scream movies, the original, the very beginning, with the girl in the house, and there's a scene where the girl in the house turns on her porch light and sees her boyfriend in like one of these chairs, but like tied up. It's a horror movie, so like don't take that out of context here. But anyways, she turns the porch light on to see her boyfriend like tied up in a chair, and bad stuff happens. Won't spoil it too much, but just so you know, it's quite violent. But that's kind of like the feel I wanted to go for this. So the light source is a porch light, and the chair is kind of like one of those super cheap, not great lawn chairs that I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. And I kind of have it as him like pulled up waiting for whoever's looking at him. He also has his hand like saying, "Come here." So it's just kind of like this theme of like, you think you're safe, but he's actually just waiting for you, and he killed someone. I don't know. That's someone's heart. That's obviously not in their body anymore, so someone's dead. And he's just kind of like this false sense of security where you think you're safe, but he's actually just waiting for you and like toying with you, I guess is the best word to say. But anyways, that was a very long-winded explanation of what this piece was, but let's just get into the speed paint, because I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to talk you through some new techniques that I've been working on. Alright, so let's just get right into the speed paint here. Also, I would like to say I did import this sketch from a different document, so that's why you didn't see like the sketching process, but I promise I drew it. It's just in a different document in Procreate. Also, I turned the background red because the way I draw Dabi, he has a lot of like gray on him, and putting it on a white background is sometimes a little bit hard to like see. So I changed the background to just something that he's not wearing, because like he's wearing black and white, which is normally the colors that I would choose from as a background, but since he's wearing both of them, I had to kind of choose a color that was neither, so I could actually see what I was doing, but I changed the background later. So this is just me throwing down the base colors, kind of deciding what I wanted. I know his shirt is actually a little bit of more of a white than that gray, but his hair was already super white, so I needed a little bit of a different color. So this is me kind of trying out this new, oh my goodness, coloring, Jesus. This new coloring style. I am basically using a textured brush as opposed to a flat brush, and I'm kind of doing it in like less of a linear way. Normally I do one color blend, another color blend. This time I kind of just threw around a bunch of colors, made it like a lot less formal, and honestly just kind of zoned out and did things. And it really worked. It's very against my personality to do that, but I think for the piece and for improving my art, it worked really well. I also completely did the face and then remembered that he had more skin showing, so I had to like go back and guess the colors that I used. That wasn't great, and that was kind of stupid on my part, but that's okay. I really liked the skin at this point, and I was really trying to distinguish things using shadow and highlight, like even more so than usual, because I didn't have lines to help me, like line art. So like for his fists, I was really pushing that highlight and shadow to distinguish between the fingers, which I think I did pretty well. When I got to his scar tissue, I got a little nervous because I was like, how do I do that again? I kind of didn't know what I was doing, and then it turned out okay. And then when it came to replicating it, I was like, how did I do that? So I was a little nervous at first, but I kind of just did what I usually do, and I, put all the colors down, and then I combined everything, and I do this kind of like swinging back and forth motion to make the scar tissue that line like texture. And then I went back over and did shadow and highlight to make it like stand out even more, but also keep the initial like shadows and stuff. So anyways, I know sometimes it's hard to tell what I'm doing here, but a lot of this is me like shading and stuff. I am now working on the hair. For a long time, I've kind of gotten the way I like to do hair, so, and I've definitely explained it before, but I I really like the way I do hair. I don't remember how I figured out how to do it like that. I kind of just looked online a bunch of ways people did hair, and then I was combined a bunch of the tutorials, so that's kind of how I do it, but I really like it. It makes it look really soft and feathery, and I like that look a lot. It's hard for me to do like long hair in that style though, so I should probably work on that again. But anyways, here I'm doing the shirt. I'm trying to really accentuate the shadows here because one, I think it really makes pieces stand out a lot more if you have really intense shadows and highlights, because obviously there's more colors, there's a bigger range of colors, but also it just like, I don't know, like visually you can see that there's like a bigger difference and it feels more 3D. Really channeling my inner Sakimi-chan here, if you know who that artist is. She's amazing. She's the person that inspired me to start digital art, so if you want to check her out, highly suggest it. She does do mostly 18 plus, just as a warning, but she does have a lot of really cool stuff that is, for everyone. But anyways, so this is me figuring out the shirt. I kind of messed with it a bit because the like chest area, the highlight chest area, I wasn't super happy with. I didn't like how the fabric folded, but I think I got it in the end. Also, the line art kind of made my perception of it a little bit off, so I was trying to like not look at the line art, but I needed the line art to see where the folds were. It was just it was a mess. This is me doing the pants. I had a lot of fun doing the pants, and I really was trying to think about where the light would be on these pants, and I was really happy with how it came out because I just was really thinking about like, okay, so if he's sitting here and the light is essentially right next to him, the light would only be hitting these parts, so what would be dark and what would be light? And I think I did a pretty good job, guessing where the light would be. There's a lot of detail in the final piece that gets kind of overshadowed because of just the lighting. So there will be a time where you'll see the piece without lighting and the piece without a background, because it just there's just some detail that kind of you can't see because it's just that's how lighting is. You're just gonna end up being able to not see certain details because of it. So, but anyways, I think the pants is one of those things that gets a little bit overshadowed with the final lighting, but that's okay because I think the final lighting really contributes to the atmosphere, so it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So with fabric, a lot of the times I put down the base color, and I do a similar motion to how I do with his scar tissue, where I kind of do like this pendulum swing, but I do it in the direction of the folds, and I find it is so much better when I leave it kind of messy, and I kind of just like let the fabric, look fabricy, because I definitely have a tendency to like overblend things, and I really need to not do that because I think a lot of things, like especially skin and fabric, look so much better when there's just some like discrepancy and a little bit of like color whatever. Anyways, you get what I mean. You can tell words are definitely my strong suit. So here I'm working on the shoes. This one, as I said in the intro, was kind of hard because they're essentially just black shoes. So I was like, it's at night, he's wearing black shoes with minimal light. How am I gonna make these like not just look like pits of void? So I really had to play around with some highlights, and I maybe made them a little brighter than necessary, but I think it was necessary to show all the detail that I put into them. And I think I did a pretty good job. Honestly, the chair was like the hardest part for me because I'm not used to coloring and putting color onto like furniture and like unnatural objects. Like I'm getting a little better at like plants and like backgrounds like that, but I very rarely draw furniture, so the chair was like the hardest part because it had so many unnatural straight lines, but I think I did it. Also, I had a reference, so that was super helpful. The heart was super fun. I draw hearts a lot, so that one was just kind of like I know what I'm doing here, which was nice after the boots and the chair, because those ones I had no idea what I was doing. Also, super forgot about the belt until like the last minute, and I was like, God damn it, I need to go back and do the belt, because if the belt is unrendered, it's just gonna ruin the whole thing. Maybe not, I was being a little dramatic there, but this is me touching up some things. I think I'm doing the face right now. I also forgot to do his staples for a very long time, so I'm going back and doing that. If you look closely at the piece, I actually have highlight and shadow on every one of the staples, which is very time consuming. So that's probably what I'm doing here. I know it's super small, it's a bit hard to see, and I do apologize for that. But so now I'm getting to the hair. One thing I do with my sketches is I have pretty anime style hair, like the outline, but when I render it, it's very realistic. But I like to kind of keep the shape, or like the general shape of anime hair, but just make it soft and make it look like it's, fluffy and real. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I kind of keep the general shape, but I'm, softening it and making it look a little bit more on the real side. This is pretty much the finished product for, then him. I'm adding the background now. I really like just kind of looking at it without lighting, because again, as I said, there's a lot of detail that gets lost with the lighting, and it was necessary to convey like the feeling of it, but there is a bit of detail that you just can't see just because it's a dark piece, which is a bummer, but also like that's just how it is. So anyways, this is me adding the blood because I was an idiot and I forgot to add the blood while I was actually coloring the shirt. So it was a little bit tricky to get the blood because I had merged all my layers at this point, so I couldn't just isolate the shirt. It was really annoying. I was kind of mad at myself, but whatever, it's okay. Here's me figuring out the lighting. Obviously, that took a hot second. Because I wanted it to be very unnatural street lamp lighting, but also like not that unnatural. So it took me a bit to get the lighting. Also, I like to erase certain bits of it because sometimes the lighting looks really good on a part of the piece, but then there's certain parts of the piece that like get washed out. So some of it is also me going back and just like making sure nothing gets covered. I do a lot of work on the face and his torso because again, things like to get washed out. But yeah, this is kind of it. I also forgot to add like the pool of blood at his feet till like kind of last minute, but I did add it because I don't know, I thought that was appropriate. I am not exactly an expert in ripping out people's hearts and what happens to hearts when they get ripped out, but I would assume that if a heart was ripped out and then set on a surface, it would, like ooze blood. I don't know why I'm going into depth with this. You guys get it. It's fine. It's kind of hard to tell, but I did add blood on the blades of grass that are around the heart. I thought that would be a cool touch, and also I think it's really important to make sure that your pieces, or like I guess the subject of your piece, looks like it's interacting with the environment it's in, because I feel like a lot of times, and I am super guilty of this, I'm talking through like personal experience, but I think a lot of the times artists who backgrounds are kind of second priority, they kind of forget to make sure their pieces look like they're interacting with the environment they're in. So it's like a very beautiful piece, and then it just kind of looks like it's like a sticker on a background. And you're just like, this is so pretty, but it would be so much better if it looked like this subject was actually where it is. So again, I am super guilty of that too. This is me talking from personal learned experience. So anyways, I liked doing that a lot. And I also realized a little bit later than I probably should that I totally forgot to add a shadow for like him. He didn't have a shadow, and I was like, well, that's dumb, because I was looking at it and I was like, what's wrong with this piece? Like, it doesn't look quite right. And I was like, oh, he doesn't have a shadow. That's like a huge important part of this. What am I doing? So I added a shadow. Obviously there's one there now. I also added shadows within the grass because the way I do grass, it's just kind of a brush. I know I'm cheating, whatever. It's a brush. But the way it is it has color, like it varies its color, but you kind of need to go in separately to add shadows to the grass, because otherwise, if you just add the grass and then you blur it, it's just kind of a mess of green, which looks good in some contexts, but for something with light as intense as this, I needed some shadows in there. But yeah, that's this piece. I'm super happy with it. Tried a lot of new techniques and it all turned out okay. Usually there's some trial and error in there, but this one turned out okay with using almost all new techniques, so very happy with it. And here is the art piece one final time. A little bit higher quality, I hope. Also, if you do want to look at this, which I suggest you do, there's a lot of detail that is not super well conveyed over a video format. So if you want to go look at this piece, it's on my Instagram. It's, I believe, my latest post, and I also posted it on TikTok a few times because I was so happy with it. I did a few videos of it. So if you want to go support me on those platforms, that would be fantastic. But yeah, that's this piece. I don't know where it came from, just from my head. I think in the future I'm gonna try and do some more fun camera perspectives and some, like, just to make it, kind of different and less just like looking at the thing. As I said before, because I chose such a simple camera perspective, I was able to play around with things like lighting and making sure like everything was just really interacting with its environment. But I think next time I'll try some different camera angles and see what happens. I have a few ideas for another full render, but that comes later, and if you want to see it, you should follow me on Instagram. Shameless plug. Yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I have a feeling this is going to be a long video, but if you stayed to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. There was a lot to talk about for this piece, so I appreciate you listening. And yeah, I hope my absence wasn't too sad, although I do hope you missed me. But yeah, I should kind of get going with the videos again. I've successfully moved and settled into the place I am, so that's great. Also, if my posting times are weird, that is because I'm on the other side of the world from where I usually am. So if my posting times are weird, that is why. I will try to sync the YouTube posting with like my usual times, because I often pre-record and like schedule them. So those should be okay, but if you follow me on other platforms like Instagram and TikTok, if anything, if I post like in the middle of the night, it's because it is afternoon for me. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone who stayed till the end. Really, your support is so appreciated. And yeah, tell me what you think, and also tell me if you guys have any like ideas for full renders or like fun stuff to try. I love listening to your ideas, and I genuinely do like to do things you guys suggest. I don't take offense if you guys suggest things, or even like criticisms or anything like that. I actually really enjoy it. So but yeah, if you guys want to support me on my other stuff, it's in my bio. It's linked in my bio. And if you want to see this piece, it's on Instagram. And that's kind of it for today. There should be some more videos coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. And yep, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go have a snack. All right, bye guys. I'll see you later.